start with the first panel of the Hard Dance Event now. It's called Online Music Channels, and we have a few here. Maybe we should start with an introduction. On the far right, there's Dave Haynes from Soundcloud.com. I think most of you people will know Soundcloud. Dave, can you tell us, if for those who don't, what Soundcloud basically is and what you do there?
Yeah, great, thanks. Just a quick show of hands, how many people have a Soundcloud account in the room? Yeah, okay, most of you. Who didn't put their hand up? No, so SoundCloud is basically a platform for sharing sound. So in the same way that you have YouTube for video or Flickr for pictures, like SoundCloud is really trying to fill that void for sound. And I think, a couple of things with that, we've got some really great consumer-facing platforms for music. So things like Spotify, I'm not sure if you have Spotify here yet, or iTunes, things like that. We're really for anyone to upload their sounds. It's not just kind of, just stuff that you put on that's been, has got a release date or has been licensed by a record label. So it's really for anyone to share music, whether it's a finished piece of music, whether it's a collaboration, parts to a track or something that's unfinished that you're just sharing with someone else in the studio. But again, we're not just music, it's also any type of audio. So we have a lot of like radio shows and podcasts and comedians, poetry, like anything that's sound basically. So to date we have 7 million users, so and some of you guys as well. Again, that's kind of really made up on the music side, everything from major record labels down to people who are just starting out or making music on their iPad or their computer. So yeah, that's SoundCloud.
Can you maybe talk a little bit closer into the microphone?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Dave, of course, there are more companies who want to be the YouTube of sound. Do you think you are the number one right now, and who do you think your main competitors are?
Yeah, I think we're definitely doing a good job of, we've been around for 3 years now, we've been growing steadily. I think one of the important things about SoundCloud is that we really are like a platform, so we do a lot of different things, and we actually work with a lot of other companies who are also building products on SoundCloud. So we do have a few people who are specifically doing things, like there's some really great tools, there's some great sites, people like Mixcloud, if you want to put DJ mixes up, there's some really great sites for doing more kind of, sending tracks out as promo and things like that. But there's also people, I met someone recently who's actually building, a tool on SoundCloud specifically for sending tracks to DJs. Sending tracks to DJs. So and there's lots of really cool integrations. There's a great company called Root Music who allow you to build a page for your artist on Facebook, and they use SoundCloud to host all of their audio. So I think by powering all these different experiences, but also having the core SoundCloud.com platform, that's really helped us to grow.
So you do think you are like the number one right now?
Hopefully, yeah. And we want to be, I think we're a top 400 website in the world now, and obviously we'd like to be in the top 10.
You're well on your way.
Yeah.
And lastly, what is your function in the company, your role? Your job?
So I look after, as I used to do a lot more, but as we've grown, just focusing on certain things. But I do a lot of speaking to labels or artists or managers, or any content partners. So if anyone's interested in getting in touch afterwards, then yeah, I'm probably the best person to speak to.
There he is. And next to him is Rudy Peters from Hardstyle.com, General Manager. Rudy, I guess most people here know what Hardstyle.com is, but please tell us about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm Rudy Peters. I'm the General Manager of Hardstyle.com. We started the download portal like 3 years ago. Our main focus was the harder styles. The first idea was to start a download portal with all type of genres, but we thought, okay, we need to survive in a strong market already, because iTunes, Track It Down, or Dance Tunes, or Beatport, they are big competitors. And we thought, like, okay, we need to focus on one type of genre, and we need to do what we're good in. And we thought, okay, we have a few URLs like hardstyle.com, hardstyle.nl, hardstyle.dj, hardstyle.info, and we thought, okay, we need to focus on the niche market. And yeah, we started working on a download portal, and 3 years ago we started with hardstyle.com. And after 3 years, I think we're a good competitor to Track It Down and other download portals. So
you're basically an MP3 shop focusing on hard dance music.
Yeah, we focus on the harder styles like hardstyle, hard dance, hardcore, and also jump music. That's famous in Belgium, a bit of France, and yeah, different other countries. And we also sell merchandise, only A+ brands.
Is how big a part of your business is the merchandise?
I think it's 60-40. 60 is the music and 40% is the merchandise.
Okay. And how much of your music is exclusive to hardstyle.com, or can I buy anything on iTunes as well, or Beatport?
I think most of the stuff you can buy on every download portal, but we try to get stuff exclusively at hardstyle.com.
But do you also sell other types of music?
Now, we did trance music in the past and hard trance, but I think it was, one track was sold in 6 months for trance music. So
okay,
it was deleted.
It's not worth your while.
Yeah, I think the harder styles fans, they want to have one type of music and that's it. They don't like other music, especially.
Are there other download stores like you focusing on hardstyle and harder dance music?
Sorry?
Are there other download portals as well doing exactly what you do?
Not that many. I think there are 1 or 2 in the UK, and that's it.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
you have a big market to yourself.
Yeah, we are really in the niche market, and I think most of the download portals have all type of genres. So.
And how many labels do you sell?
Well, I don't know, 1,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple of thousand. I don't know.
Next to me is Willem van Zeeland. If you haven't seen him earlier this afternoon, he is the head of 3 for 12, the big alternative music platform for public television, radio, and internet in the Netherlands. And he told us that the biggest part of his website is sort of like a listening station where you can stream whole albums. Is that correct, Willem?
Yes, and also that is called the luisterpaal, but also we have a large on-demand section of DJ sets and concerts, and as well audio and sometimes also video.
Yes, and these are recorded on festivals in Holland throughout the year.
Yeah, we work together with a lot of festivals, among them this festival, the Amsterdam Dance Event, but also Lowlands, Mysteryland, Eurosonic Noorderslag, Pinkpop, where we record DJ sets and concerts in audio and video, and where we create a special festival mashup site that I just demonstrated before, which is a very special way of covering festivals.
And if you're a fan of hard dance music and you're looking to listen to something you like on your platform, what can you find?
Well, we have over 4,000 DJ sets, some of them recorded at Mysteryland or here at Amsterdam Dance Event. So there's some hardstyle among that, but not a lot. It's not something we are specialized in.
Mm-hmm. Dave, is hard dance music represented on SoundCloud to the extent that you would expect, seeing how big the music is?
Yeah, I would say so. I have to say, I mean, we have so many different styles and so many different types of sound that I probably don't have any kind of good numbers. And I mean, part of a great thing about being here is actually finding out how many people are using it and who is using it. We definitely, I would say SoundCloud probably definitely came from more of an electronic community in the beginning, and we've kind of evolved over the past 3 years. And we have seen a lot of, I mean, one great thing about SoundCloud is there is a lot of kind of, scenes on SoundCloud. So, the dubstep community is extremely well represented. There's a really strong drum and bass community. And actually, we don't really provide such an element of, discovery on SoundCloud. It's really all the tools are built for the creators who put their content on SoundCloud. So what you find is that, you'll have a little cluster of people and they'll all be following each other and commenting on each other's tracks and, sending tracks around privately within their own networks. So it's not like people go onto SoundCloud and be like, oh, hey, I'm going to, search for XYZ label. I mean, people do that, but it's also about people using it as a tool to then go and put in front of their own community. So even if you have one label, they might have this, huge Facebook following, or they might be, really active on Twitter, and it's about them taking their sounds to their own audience and not just saying, hey, I've got a page on SoundCloud, come and find me.
So basically it's something that you can use as a DJ or a label, and then it's really up to you how you use it.
Yeah, and lots of people use it in different ways. I mean, I would say as a label, you're probably using it more as a promotional vehicle. So it might be, you know, I've got a track, but you're not suddenly going to put a whole album up or a whole single up, because ultimately you want people to go to other sites, you know, whether it's Track It Down or Beatport or Harder Styles, and actually, you know, go and purchase the music there. So a lot of people might put something up for a week, or they might just put a 2-minute clip, but then add, like, we allow any user to put a buy link next to their track as well, so people can actually, so it's more about that promotion and using it to put the music in front of your audience, but you probably then want to drive that, you know, somewhere else ultimately to, you know, like, sell your music.
And as a DJ, it's a tool to promote yourself.
Yeah, and I think what's great is a lot of DJs are using it to receive tracks. So we have a lot of users who might not be posting their own material, but we have a function called the Dropbox, where you can just be, like, if you're a DJ, it might be that you're following lots of the artists and producers and labels that are on there, so that the stuff that they want to promote, you know, if you've got a channel and you've got 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers on SoundCloud, it means you can put up, you know, any track, whether it's a clip, a full album, or whether it's you just speaking and announcing, you know, like a tour or something. Then that means that those 10,000 people who are following your channel are actually going to, you know, be engaged and get that message.
And how do you know if the people who put up the music have the right to?
Yeah, so one thing that we do is, as we've got bigger, then obviously there's more of a challenge. It's the same with YouTube. I mean, somebody can upload something, and then, you know, it's a case of, do you have the right to? So we have a couple of different things. First of all, we have a really strict takedown policy. So any track that goes up, if somebody sees it, if you're a label and it's like, oh, hang on, somebody else has posted my track, some labels might be okay with that, but the majority might be like, well, hey, actually, you know, I want to put that track up and, you know, be the official source, or I don't want it up at all because, you know, somebody just ripped it off the radio or something. So we have that, and if we take it down, then that track then goes on the blacklist, and then we actually take a fingerprint and can continually block that track. The other thing is we have, it's similar with a lot of other platforms, you know, everyone from MySpace to YouTube, but there's this whole notion of content filtering. So, you know, if you tell us that you want your content blocked, then we can actually, you know, like, arrange with you to kind of take a fingerprint of that content before it gets released, and make sure it's blocked.
Rudy, do you think, as a seller of music, you are helped or hindered by people being able to stream music on 3 for 12 or on SoundCloud or wherever for free?
I don't know. For hardstyle.com, I think 60 or 70% is a DJ who's buying music at our portal. So we think that YouTube or SoundCloud or Facebook, yeah, gives us more exposure for the music. So
yeah,
no, it's okay for us.
So that many of your customers are DJs. Is it not? Can you not sell the music to the fans?
We can sell the music to the fans, but we did a research amongst our clients, and 60 or 70% told us that they were a DJ or producer. So
you're happy with that?
Yeah. Why not?
Well, why not? Because iTunes is selling billions of songs to ordinary people.
We are not iTunes.
No.
We're doing it with 2 people, so that's the difference.
Yeah, but of course there are many fans who love this music and might want to own it. And
yeah, but I think if people want to buy music on iTunes, they will buy it there and not change the way. It's a feeling. You buy something where you feel okay with it. So we compete with a lot of portals, and when we get tracks exclusively at hardstyle.com, more people will buy it at our portal. But yeah.
Okay. Willem, of course, you as a public broadcaster, you are not selling anything.
No. we are even not allowed to.
Would you want to? As a service?
We sometimes thought the BBC has this model that they have all their applications for free in the UK, and they sell their applications internationally. We have an app for the luisterpaal. We do it at the moment only in the Netherlands, but I would like to bring it to the iTunes store internationally. And then there is also the question, do we do it for free worldwide, or are we going to sell it in other countries? Maybe we could use the money. I mean, the government is going to cut budgets for public for public broadcasters, so this would be a way to create your own income. But it's legally it's very complicated. But So maybe I would want to sell something, but it's not. We're not money driven or profit driven at all. No.
And that gives you, I guess, a lot of freedom as well.
Well, it gives a lot of freedom, and it makes it a bit easier. I mean, being a part of of the national government doesn't always create that much freedom, but it makes it sometimes easier to get stuff cleared, and makes it easier for artists to place their content on our website because they know that we don't do it to make a profit on their behalf.
Yeah, I see. And Dave, there's something I'm curious about. I think if you don't have an account on SoundCloud, you don't actually see what you can get out of it when you do. Can you tell us something, one of the benefits of having a SoundCloud account and the kind of data actually that you can gain from that?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of data, I think that's one of the things that we do, because SoundCloud is this tool that you can then, put your, audio and sounds in front of lots of different people. The fact that we can track, which every single website that's been embedded on. So, quite often a label would put a track on because they want to kind of, give it to one of the big sites to, to promote, or they want to give it to the music blogs. And what you can then do is you can, they want people to share it across their Facebook or their own Twitters. But what you can do is you get stats and analytics around, where exactly is it being shared. So what countries, we know exactly what country it's being shared to, or what URL it is. So if you are a user, we do provide that basic level of stats for all of our users. But that's our kind of business model. So we have different price points, and if you are a pro user, for example, then you get a lot more analytics about where your music is being shared, and that sometimes for label, that's really great data. I've heard of labels before who have they've had a release and they've just had a European release, and all of a sudden they've seen that actually they're getting 90% of their plays in North America, which has meant they've actually taken the decision internally, well, we can't afford to release this physically in the US, but we know we've got an audience there, so let's put out a digital release, and we can prove to our promotional partners that people want to buy this in this market. So I think that where with this shift to kind of music being everywhere on the web, I think one of the real valuable parts of that is the data and the insight that you can get to that to ultimately find out where those fans and listeners are.
And Rudy, are you also monitoring these kind of data? Of course, you're not sharing them.
Yeah, we track them. We use Google Analytics, and we have a system in hardstyle.com. We can track a lot of stuff.
For example, where do you sell? Do you sell mostly in the Netherlands, or?
No, I think the Netherlands is on position number 3, and Germany, Belgium, France, the States, Australia. Those are the biggest countries for us.
And as a record label, can I gain access to this data when I sell through hardstyle.com?
Not everything. But if they ask for it, we will give them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to ask nicely.
Yeah. Send me an email. Now, the reason why, because we're with 2 people, and besides hardstyle.com, I'm doing a few other things. So it's we don't have all the time for it, and it's quite expensive to build it in the system.
A lot of people are still using YouTube to just put on music without any interesting image whatsoever, just to have the music out there because it's, I guess, so easy to use. This is especially popular, I think, in it's also very popular in hard dance music. Does that mean that something like SoundCloud is too complicated, or it's too difficult to gain access to a public broadcaster, or?
Yeah, that's a funny one, and earlier on you mentioned competitors. I guess in a weird way, even though YouTube is video, they're still they're one of those platforms that everybody knows. So I think people have tended, because they are around since the last 5 or 10 years. People have well, how long have they been around for? But they managed to get traction really quickly early on. But I do think it is. Sometimes when you have a track, it is really great to have visual content along with that. But I think for us, we would love to see, when we see labels putting up a track on YouTube and then they've just got a blank image, you know, I think there's moments where you'd much rather have that piece of audio on SoundCloud. It just makes more sense. It's in a better context. But it's interesting to see the different ways that different people are using it.
Is the sound quality different as well?
Actually, I don't know. I think that we're probably higher quality, but I don't know what YouTube streaming quality is.
Of course, on SoundCloud you don't have the option to really make the website where you land look like your brand or your DJ or your artist, and have that visual quality as well. Yeah. It looks like a pretty sterile, if I can say so.
We've
techno
kept
website.
we've definitely kept the SoundCloud.com destination as simple as possible. And actually, I think that's one of the reasons why YouTube got really big really quickly, was that people recognise. I mean, there was at the time they had as many as 10 different competitors, but the fact that they had the cleanest interface, people recognised their widgets and they felt comfortable with it. I think it's the same with SoundCloud now. People, when you go on the web, most people every day when they're on the internet will see one of our play buttons and the waveform with some time comments. So I think in the future it might be, we've got a redesign coming up of the site in next year, which is kind of top secret, but it's looking really nice. But yeah, and I think that could be something, again, when, it could be something that's added as a feature later on to just, but I think even then, one of the mistakes that MySpace made was just to let people go crazy with customization. So I think if we did bring that in, it would probably be a little bit more subtle, but we definitely would love to kind of see our users really kind of tending to their profile in the same way that they do on other networks. Mm-hmm. If you are on SoundCloud, we have a profile section where you can actually add in your YouTube, your Flickr, your Twitter, like all of your Discogs, things like that. So you should take time to do that. If you're on tour, then we actually have a way just to automatically update your tour date. So there's a site called songkick.com. You just need to put in your Songkick artist URL, and we would also really like to see more people treating it in the same way as their YouTube channel, really thinking about how can I get more followers to my SoundCloud channel, but obviously not forgetting that you can do lots of other things with those sounds across other applications as well.
When you sign up, you can have your song up within an hour, right?
Yeah, or quicker. I mean,
quicker.
It should take 5 minutes to sign up for a free account and upload something. So.
And Rudy, if I want to sell my song through hardstyle.com, how does that work? Can you take us through that process?
We have a support section at hardstyle.com, and we have written down a lot of information how to contact us, and every label can send me an email via partners@hardstyle.com, and there the whole process starts. And I think everybody who sells or who creates music in the harder styles is welcome. Also the smaller labels, there's a big difference between Beatport and hardstyle.com. We are in the niche market, so we think everybody's welcome who creates harder styles music. When they send us an email, we reply to them within a day, and then we start the process. We need information, we get the information back, we send them a contract, and that's it.
And
quite simple.
Yeah. How fast can I have my record for sale?
Within the day, if possible.
Within a day?
Yeah, if possible.
And what kind of deal do you offer them?
What kind of deal? That's quite personal.
No, really,
that's something for us and the labels. I think it's like every other, like iTunes or Track It Down. It's all the same at the end. It's 60-40, 50-50, 70-30.
It's a question of negotiation.
Sorry?
That's a question of negotiation.
Yeah.
How much does the track sell for at hardstyle.com?
We have 3 different types of music: the WAV file, 320 and 192, and it's from €1 to 250.
And if you're selling mainly to DJs, what format do you sell the most? I guess the 320 MP3s?
No, the WAV file.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot. Everybody's down on the WAV file. So.
And how much more expensive is that?
The WAV file is 199 or 250. Depends. If we get it exclusive on hardstyle.com, it's 250, 249.
Yeah. And the 320 and the 192?
149 and 192.
And the cheapest one doesn't sell very much, I guess, if you're selling to DJs?
Not at all. The 192, the MP3 is like 99 cents, and We don't sell it at all. It's weird.
Well, if you're selling to DJs, I guess it's not that weird.
No, yeah, I can understand that, but sometimes people, they don't care about the bitrate anymore, and yeah, they just at hardstyle.com they download the best file, so that's good.
Of course, on SoundCloud you can. There's also a range of sound qualities that you can offer.
Yeah, so when you upload something, we like transcode that. So if you can upload like a WAV file, and then we would just, obviously if we just stream the raw WAV file, then it would take a long time and wouldn't be the best user experience. So we actually transcode that down. But then if you say, for example, if you're sending files around privately, or you're offering a free download, then the file that person would download would be the original. So it's completely up to you. And it's funny because we have, on the one hand, we might have, an engineer in a studio who's sending out masters just to 2 or 3 people from a session privately, and obviously they want to be sending, the highest quality file. But then we also have a lot of, like speech podcasters who actually, we found that the streaming preview that we had was too high quality because they just wanted people downloading through, to their mobile devices as quickly as possible. Wow. So yeah, I mean, we definitely see, we see streaming a lot more than downloading. I think that the number of people downloading on SoundCloud is actually decreasing, and it's more about just having that. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously especially in the dance market, there's still DJs who want to download files, so they're going to come to places like Track It Down and Beatport and Hardstyles to actually make that download. But I think overall, with more general consumers, there's definitely a move towards streaming. I've moved my general music listening habits to something like Spotify, and it'd be interesting to see how that same trend happens in dance, because if you go to Spotify, you're not going to find the best hard dance music. So is there a space for another company to be, to provide that consumer experience and not just around DJs? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there's, which of the consumer sides do.
Yeah. And Willem, of course, you offer lots of streaming brand new music that isn't on Spotify, or not yet, or
we always try to get a record a week before the release, so we often have it long before Spotify has it.
And then it's only on your platform for about a week or 2.
That's at least what we try to have.
Maybe sometimes less then.
Sometimes it's less. I mean, the new Coldplay record is going to be in stores tomorrow, and we still don't have it. But nobody else has it also.
Well, I have it, but
you have nobody else is streaming it. That's,
right.
That's what I meant. But sometimes we are even the only one internationally. I think 23% of our audience is international. 23%, yeah, and that's without any international marketing. So that's quite a lot of it, trying to make our new website better accessible for an international audience.
Why is that? Because you are funded by Dutch license fee payers. Why should you cater to Americans freeloading your content?
Well, it's not something that we actively market, but I think Dutch all kinds of forms of Dutch culture are being promoted internationally, so why not our website? And I think it can also help people find
even if it's a
Dutch
stream
music.
of a Coldplay album.
Well, when the Coldplay album, we will have to add the geo-block, and we will do it.
Okay.
So that's something we only do when it's a high priority record. I think it doesn't fit with the whole formula of the World Wide Web to create geo-blocks, and you don't have to be a techno nerd to be able to go around these geo-blocks. Even I can do it. So
something you can also do is embed a SoundCloud file. Do you sometimes do that? You make use of it?
Sometimes, when we have an article in which we want to refer to a certain song or to a certain DJ set that we don't have on our own site, we embed a SoundCloud part. Yeah.
And are there
it's not regular.
No. Is there a reason for that? You don't want to use outside platforms as much as possible?
Well, we are our own platform, but sometimes we also use YouTube content, like when we do like 10 tips for the Amsterdam Dance Event. It's an article with embedded YouTube content, and people are the other way around invited to embed our stuff. It's not very easy at the moment, but when we have our new website, it will be much easier to embed content from the Luisterpaal or from concerts that we recorded.
Yeah.
And we just spoke about sharing. I'd like to know from you, for example. I was at the BBC headquarters last week, and they told me that more and more often it's a restriction in contracts that people don't want video content to be embeddable by other parties, especially Facebook. Is that something that you recognize?
Yeah, so I mean, just to touch on the point before as well, before moving that. So I think the great thing about SoundCloud is, if you're a label or you're an artist and you want to promote your content, you can use SoundCloud as like the main source for that. And then if you for example, if you did want to give it to a certain blog or a certain radio station, you can actually rather than, it used to be in the music blog space, and it still happens a little bit, where you have this problem where a label would send out a CD and then the blogger would obviously then rip that and then put it on Hookshare, or you send it, or one of these kind of sort of slightly like shady services. But now a label can say, actually, well, no, these are the official places. If I've got a video, here's the official, I put my official video on Vimeo or YouTube or my own player, or I've put my I put this track that I want to have on SoundCloud. And then obviously you're getting all the statistics. You can take it down at any point, you can turn it into a clip at any point. It's going to maintain all of your buy links. And a couple of things that we do is we allow people to control, so you can actually have something that's completely private on SoundCloud, but then could give to your site, for example, or and create an exclusive by doing that. And so for us, we want as much of the control to be in the creators' hands. And for us, it's not like we don't need because we don't advertise next to your content or monetize it anyway. Like for us, it doesn't matter. It like our job is to make sure that as a creator, we you as a creator, we're providing you with the best tools. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to have a player that's locked down to your own website, then you should be able to do that. But if you want it to spread across the web, or you want like fans to be able to share that to their Facebook wall, then again they should be able to do that, and we give you that complete flexibility.
That's the same on our website. People can choose whether they want to have it worldwide or only the Netherlands, and whether they want to have it in an embeddable or non-embeddable manner. But it used to be, until like half a year ago, it was a strong principle at Believe for 12 to never put a geoblock on anything. But I think we couldn't hold that, and I thought we always have to think first in the interest of our audience. And I think our Dutch audience, they want to hear like a new Coldplay record, they want to hear it. So
I'm not sure. I mean,
then it's a geoblock.
I don't know, but it feels anecdotally that, this community, if you're signing a record, typically it's, well, I don't know actually, but I would say typically most of it is, going to be licensed worldwide, or else, a label wouldn't pick it up. But it might be instances where, you've got the record worldwide, but then you've licensed it to a bigger party in Australia or in the US.
I think that happens often, yeah.
Like that. So, obviously, one thing that we have to do as well is, that's sometimes a problem, because if you're an independent label and then like Universal's licensed it in Benelux or something, then obviously that's something that we have to handle. So I think everyone's getting better at that, but it still is sometimes a problem, and it can be as well when a label has different marketing plans. So it might be that they own the rights, but actually they only want people in the US to hear it 1 week, because they're doing all the kind of radio promotion in Holland the next week. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I think if your music's like being played somewhere in the world, then that's it. The cat's out the bag, and at that point,
I think so.
That's right.
Point,
it's not very about frustrating as a listener.
It's not about restricting it. It's about like controlling it as much as possible. And the more proactive you are in controlling that, the better the overall result is going to be. We've seen labels where something's been leaked on one of these YouSendIt sites, and they said, right, okay, well actually we've got to react to this. Let's make sure that the music's up there now, and that people are listening to it where we want them to listen to it, rather than in other channels.
Rudy, do you deal with geo-blocks and sell to restricted territories?
No.
Not at all?
No, in the hardstyle scene or hard dance scene, it's it's worldwide. So the DJs or the producers are signed to one label, and they sell it worldwide. Most of the times, I think it's 99%.
Because personally, one of the most frustrating things is that you actually want to buy something, music online, like unlike most people, then you cannot because it's restricted for your territory.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
Then you go to you send it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, but
it's the wrong risk.
Yeah.
You need to sell it worldwide, otherwise it's gone.
Yeah.
Because within 1 minute, it's on you send it, or torrent files or other websites. I can see it on hardstyle.com when a track is coming out at 12 o'clock at night, at 12:01, it's on you send it.
Oh yeah.
It's instantly. So
Do you think piracy is a bigger problem for harder dance music, or regular or smaller than
I think
other dance
you can
music?
see it in two ways. It's a loss for the download portal, but it's a win for the DJ because it gains more exposure for them. And if he's playing somewhere else in another country or a different continent, they know the tracks, and yeah, that's a good thing. So it's a two-faced thing. So
Really? Oh, this is interesting to hear from someone like you.
yeah, because I also work for a label. So
Oh, okay.
I've got
Okay, we've got about
two
10.
faces,
We've
so-
got about 10 minutes for questions in the audience. Yes, you.
I understand with YouTube, they're now paying labels for views and whatnot. Do you plan to do that with SoundCloud?
Well, I mean, YouTube's an interesting one because obviously they're selling advertising next to the content. So, you know, obviously SoundCloud doesn't have any plans to switch on advertising or anything like that. So, at the moment, our model is basically we're people. We have 7 million users. Most of them use SoundCloud for free, but then our business model is that the ones who are getting the most value out of it and using it more in their professional lives, they're paying to upgrade their account. So at the moment, our business model is more like Vimeo, for example, where if I host a video, sometimes I'd rather host it on Vimeo because it's a really clean experience and I control that. But it's I think at the moment that's really the focus, and that for us that business is is still going really well.
How much are the rates at SoundCloud?
So the cheapest account, so obviously there's free, which anyone's welcome to sign up to. Then the cheapest account is the most popular account is €30
A year.
but we see and then the most expensive it ever gets, and this is for like unlimited bandwidth, unlimited downloads, unlimited streaming, etc. That's €500. But I would say even most labels in the room probably wouldn't necessarily need
There
it.
are several steps in between the 30 and the €500.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Goed. Yeah.
Another question for Dave. Earlier on we talked about redesigning SoundCloud.
Yes, I shouldn't have mentioned that.
Let's keep it within these walls.
Does this mean that the users that pay money for the SoundCloud accounts could benefit from more things that could happen in the future?
Yeah, I mean we're always open to hearing about new features that people want. I think a big part of what we do is just trying to keep making sure that we're at the bleeding edge of web technology. So I mean one thing that we've noticed a lot, which we're putting a lot of focus into, is mobile at the moment. So more and more people are accessing that content on their devices, and we can see, I mean just for our own traffic, we can see mobile web traffic is just increasing. So redesign aside, a lot of the effort isn't necessarily going into new features, because we have lots of people building apps that provide those features on top of the platform. But for example, we're hoping to launch our new HTML5 audio players, which means you can actually stream it. If you embed that and it's on an iPhone, you can actually play it rather than it saying, oh, it's Flash, we can't play it. We actually have a whole mobile optimized site at m.soundcloud.com, which a lot of people don't. But a lot of the SoundCloud links that I see, it's from artists posting tracks on their Twitter, and usually I'm checking Twitter on my iPhone, and it means now that I can just click on that link and I get a really nice page with the artwork, and I can just instantly stream that, rather than seeing it on Twitter and thinking, oh, I'll check it when I get home, and then I forget. So actually a lot of the effort, a lot of the engineering effort at the moment is just making sure that we're as accessible as possible. But I mean, feel free to let me know kind of feature ideas, and we're always listening.
Anyone else?
I should say as well, while we're waiting for someone to think of a question, if anyone with an Android device or an iPhone device, then do go on and just type in SoundCloud into the App Store, and you can download the SoundCloud app for your phone as well. And if you have a Mac, then we have a Mac desktop app, which is really great. Again, for DJs as well, if you're following people, it's really great for just checking out the new stuff that people, that if you've got a new promo that someone sent to you privately, you can check it there rather than having to go on the web.
That's free advertising for you.
Sorry, where's useful information?
Absolutely, yes. Rudy, do you have anything else to share with us, or plans for the future, or?
Yeah, we are busy with a complete new design for hardstyle.com. I think we will launch it within 2 or 3 weeks. It's completely renewed, and it's better for Google. It's better for the partners. I think it's better for everybody. So I cannot say a lot about it.
And as the sales of the music go, is it
going upwards?
It's
every
still going
single
up.
month. It's going upwards.
Every single month.
Yeah.
For how long?
For the last 3 years.
For 3 years.
Yeah, we've got like 125,000 visitors each month.
And how many of those actually buy something?
A little bit less. Just a bit.
Of course, Willem, you told us you are launching a new website
Yes.
at the end of the year, start of the new year.
Yeah, somewhere around that, depending on the technical progress we make.
Okay.
And we also already spoke about, we don't do a lot of hardstyle on the website, but I'm interested to see what we can do. We need to try a bit more maybe. So if any people here have any proposals or ideas they want to share with me, I'm definitely open to that, and I'll be around.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here.